Hello everyone, welcome back to Tube Tales. So in the previous section we learned about packet.json and how to install React. And today we are going to learn about the default structure which we are getting by using CRA. How we can play with this area, like how we can edit this one and how we can have a different text and from where we are getting this. So we will study all those things in this tutorial. So this is the default structure which is provided by React. One is the public folder and another one is the SRC folder. So public folder contains the public files like whatever the fav icon we want. If we are launching a progressive web application, so this manifest.json file tell us okay how those things should come. And this is the SRC folder which contains the main point of the application from where it start running. So we will go one by one all the files and see how it works. So first file is favicon.ico. This is basically used for the favicon which we are using here, so we can change that. And then we have another file as logos which we are using in the manifest.json. Manifest.json basically used like when we are doing the progressive web application, when we are launching our app in the mobile devices or desktop, then we can show like okay what will be the fav icon, what are the logos should come on the screen. So these things we are storing here, what will be the name of the React application and theme color and the background color. So all those information we are storing here. And the main file in the public is index.html, which is the default file. Basically this is the main point where it comes. So it has the normal HTML file where we have HTML tag, then head tag and the body tag. In head tag basically we are storing all the metadata informations, and then in the body tag we are storing the whole application structure, the content which we are planning to have in our applications. Okay, so as you can see here we are storing the metadata like whatever the cat set, what will be the fav icon we want to include. We can change it whatever we want to. If you want to have a custom link or custom icon, you can provide that just in installing that in your application, and then just provide the URL of that image icon. Then we have a description like what this title, like what this application is going to do, we can provide here itself. And then we have a manifest.json already included in this file. As you can see here also it's written, we have to provide the metadata used when your application is installed on a user's mobile device or desktop. And then we have a title, like this title is basically used like if I want to change it, I can show you how and where it is showing. So as you can see here it is showing as app123. So this is the one. If you want to change the title, like whatever the application name you want to write down, you can just put it here. And then we have a div id root. This is the main thing, and rest of the structure will come under this root. So this is how this calls and how it knows like we have to call under all these things. I'll show you that as well, but for now as you can see in the inspect, we have HTML tag, head tag, body tag, and then in body tag we have a div id root, and rest of the application come under the underneath, right? So how this is coming, I'll show you that as well. This is the default files which we are getting in the public folder. Now let's come to our src. Src is basically the main point because we have one index.js file in src itself. As you can see, this is the first file which tell us okay which component we have to render. Okay, so let's suppose I have written down here right now as a app. So this is the default component it is telling you have to call. So as you can see, for this we have used root.render. What is root now? So root is the same component. As you can see, document.get element by id root. This is the root, the div which we have created in the index.html. It is pointing to the same one, and it is saying okay whatever the things you are getting, just create a div of this, like just get the id of this root, and then you have to root.render. You have to render all those information in this root itself. So that's why it is coming in this way, like first one is a div id root, and after that the whole component is coming. So this is the strict mode which we are currently using to have to check the multiple rendering is going on and how the web application is going to work upon. This is the app, this is the default component. I'll show you what is in this component. And then we have a report web vitals which is used for the performance functions. Okay, so let's see what is app.js. In app.js, as you can see, we have defined one function which is also called as functional component. So in React we have two types of component. One is class component, another one is functional component. We'll cover both and we'll see what is the difference between both and how those, like previously it was supported only class component, now it is majorly working upon the functional component. We'll discuss it in detail later, but now let's see how this current application coming on the screen. So as you can see, we have one functional component app and we are exporting it as a default in app. So when we are exporting any function, it's a normal JavaScript thing. When we are exporting something, we have to just import it and we can directly use it. So as you can see in index.js, as you can see here, we are using app component, right? We are importing this app component. So in app.js we are saying, okay, whatever the function is returning, we have to export it and then we can directly use it, right? So in the app function, but we have written down, we have created one div, we have created the header, we have created the images, the text we want to show, and the learn rate. So as you can see on the screen, we are seeing edit src app.json, save to reload, and learn react, right? The same thing we have we can see here in this files as well: edit app.json, save to reload, and learn react. So all those information is coming from this app. We have some as you can see here, this page is looking good, right? A small basic css they have applied. So how they have applied and where they have applied, we have created a default file, that is app.css, where they have defined all the default part, like what will be a font size, what will be a background color. So all those information they have defined in this app.css. I hope that is clear, like from where we are getting the structure now. Right now let's go to app.js and try to change something. Instead of edit code, let's say, hi, my first application. Okay, and now if I save this, we don't need to do anything. You have to just go to your browser and you will automatically see that, hi, my first application. So this is the thing which is the main component. We can change this component name and we have to just change that component name here, or we can use this component, define another components in this one. We will go in detail on those things as well. So for now you can see how this is coming, right? Learn react and this. And the next file, as you can see, app.test.js. So previously when I talked about packet.json, that time I told like how this current react library giving us the testing library as well. So this is the demo they have given us, okay, how the testing library works. So they have done that part. So then we have a report web vitals.js, which is basically used only for the performance one. Then we have a setup test.js, which we are going to use for the test cases to mock any function and everything. And then we have a git ignore, where we can define whatever we don't want to add in the git. So we can define those things. Packet.log.json is dependent upon this packet.json. So whenever we are running this npm install command, that time this file creates. And readme.md is like where you can define, okay, how this application can work. Like if someone wants to clone this application on his system, how and what steps which they needs to be followed, that steps we can define here. As you can see, some of the basic example they have given: npm start, npm test. So we can define everything here. So I hope this is the basic structure which is clear to everyone now. So now we will cover these things, like how this structure is working upon, right? So as you can see, right now we have div, header, img, p, and anchor and header. So we have two things, like one is with JSX and another is without JSX. So what is JSX? JSX is JavaScript XML. So it is a way to write down the things in React. Like with JSX, it's easy to read, easy to write, but without JSX, it's difficult to read and write. I'll show you one example with JSX and without JSX. So this is without JSX. So here what we are doing, if we want to create any element or any div, you have to provide the command of JavaScript like react.create element, that you have to create one element in which you have to provide this h1, like this is the tag of the element, okay, and that what information you want to show in that element, and then we have to render this element. So if you know, like we have covered this thing already, like if we want to get an element, then we need to render it an element. So this is something which is without JSX. And if you want to create one div, every time you have to write down this component, so it will be a hectic, right? So React provides a JSX which help us to write down the component in a easier way. How that is? So this is a JSX version. Here as you can see, We are just providing okay h1 and I love JSX, right? And we have to just provide this my element in this render part. So we don't need to create every time this kind of a structure, right? So it will be easy to read and write as well. So in the whole application of React, we are going to follow this kind of a structure with JSX only, so that we can write down the code in efficient manner and easy to readable by the other users. That's all for this video. If you have any query or suggestion, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching.